Good morning, Bucknutters. Welcome to the Bucknuts Morning 5 here on Monday, July 15th, 2019. I am Dave Biddle, back from vacation and in the saddle again. I am joined by the one and only Bill Bank Greene. Bank, what's up?
Hey, Dave. How you doing, man? Welcome back from vacation.
Thank you, sir. Tanned, rested, and ready. I thank Dan Rubin for kicking ass while I was gone. I even had G. Scott Sr. on the show Friday, which I thought was, I even was listening to the show from the cruise ship is how good that show was. So appreciate Dan Rubin filling in for me. For the listeners out there in today's show, Bank and I are going to get into the 2020 recruiting class for Ohio State, how many more guys they can take, who those guys probably will be. I want to start, Bank, with, a lot of people are asking, how many can they take in this class? Is there a hard cap of 25? Is there loopholes with this quote-unquote hard cap, which really wouldn't make it a hard cap? Can they get to 26 if they gray shirt kicker Jake Siebert? Unpack all of that for me, if you would.
Yeah, you're asking the wrong guy there. We'll get that off the bat first. If I were a college coach, I would have my team on probation in a minute because I'm ignorant of the rules and I hate rules and it's not my thing. And all I can say is, when this first kind of reared its head, the hard cap of 25, I have talked to literally 10 to 12 different college coaching staffs, both on-field coaches, people that are in office positions that should know. And this is all coming from compliance departments and how different compliance departments are reading the NCAA rule. And like every rule that has ever come down, they're always open for interpretation. They're always vague. They're always confusing. And this is no different. So, like I said, I have talked to 10 or 12 different college staffs about this, and I've probably gotten 10 or 12 different answers. I don't know, so I'm not going to sit here as a rules expert because no one would believe that. I could put myself off as an astronaut easier than I could a rules expert, but we don't know. My guess is, if you look around the country at the way people are recruiting, nobody sure seems to be recruiting like they think they're going to stop at 25. So my guess is until I hear different, I think there's creative ways to get into that 26, 27 mode.
I want to get into who specifically will close out this 2020 class. I love their name, too, Vision 2020. You always have to have a cool catch name for the class, a little nickname. They got a really good one this year, Vision 2020. We'll look at maybe the 5 or 6 players we think are going to close out this class, maybe 5 to 7. Let's start with Bijan Robinson, 5-star running back, number 4 running back in the country, according to the 24/7 Sports Composite. Do you think he'll be a Buckeye?
I do. I have him in my class. I have him in ink, not in pencil. I think he's done. I think he's in, and I think he's one heck of a player.
His teammate, Lathan Ransom, same deal. You think he's in?
I do. I think, Notre Dame's trying to make a run, and I think he's kind of listening to him, but I think he's done, and I think Ohio State has him.
And Elias Ricks, I want to ask you about the controversy. I chimed in on this when I was on vacation. I was kind of getting a kick out of all this stuff. The dean, Bill Cook's been on this for the entire way, but Elias Ricks, before we get to all the controversy around that, number 2 corner in the country, a 5-star prospect, verbally committed to LSU, but, you think Elias Ricks will be in this class?
That's more Bill's thing than me, and I would never try to steal his thunder on this. He was first in on this. He has continued to stay in on this, and he'll probably be the one that finishes this one too. So I'm kind of like you. I'm just kind of a bystander on the Elias Ricks thing. What I'm being told from my people is that unless LSU burns to the ground, it's more than likely he's going to stay with LSU. So, we got to wait and see what happens there. He is going to visit later in the year, supposedly. And once those kids take those official visits, man, it's all gloves are off at that point. So I'm kind of in your boat here, and probably with our listeners and our readers, that I'm just letting Bill kind of man the ship here because he's proven that this is his thing, and far more than me. So, I'm just sitting back watching him do his work.
Now we're going to take a very quick break for a commercial. All right, Bank. Yeah, as for the controversy, I mean, we've seen a lot of things in our days covering the Buckeyes, covering recruiting. I would put Elias Ricks at the top, but it was interesting that, it was reported that he had already, the family was going to move to Baton Rouge. There was talk out there they already had. I have no doubt the guys on the LSU site were told that from the family. They weren't just getting that from a source that was like kind of new, third cousin or something, or they certainly weren't making it up. You and I were talking about that on the board. So I totally believe that they were told that, and then just things change in recruiting, as we all know. I mean, perhaps they were planning on moving there and some other stuff happened and they just decided, we're not going to get into that, maybe because of the stuff going on at LSU, or simply, maybe he, with legend Cavazos, just wants to be a Buckeye. But, that was an interesting situation with LSU saying, some of the guys on LSU saying no, that he's going to move to Baton Rouge, and Bill Kurelic saying no, he's not. And I don't know, I kind of got a kick out of the whole thing, just to be honest with you.
I mean, it's just, it's life in the recruiting world. I mean, until you've gotten pranked or misled or, and hey, it's happened to me. Believe me, I've had so much egg on my face I could start a restaurant in the morning, but it happens. I mean, and like I say, Sonny Shipp and Shea Dixon really got caught in a tough spot there. And there's no possible way those guys just made that up. Okay. It would be, it's just unheard of. It'd be like me saying today on the show, Bijan Robinson is moving to Pick Central. Well, somebody's going to ask him, and he's going to say, no, I'm not. And then I'm going to look like an idiot. So there's no way Sonny Shipp or Shea Dixon made that up. They were told that by somebody they trusted. Okay? Now, things changed, and they got left in a tough spot, an uncomfortable spot. I've been there. I've worn that hat before. It doesn't wear well. So, like I say, who knows what's going to happen, and who knows what they were told? I don't know. Like I say, I was tipped off about 2 weeks ago, and I put it in one of my chats about Ricks possibly going to IMG. Now, I never did get that confirmed, but the person that told me was pretty darn sure that he was going to IMG. And it's like, that's a tough drive, from Baton Rouge to IMG. So who knows, Dave? I mean, this one has been, it's been one for the books. And, get your popcorn ready, because this has just been the layup line. This has just been fun and games here. It's going to get good once the games start and the official visits open back up. And now listen, from my point of view, again, just on the sidelines here, he has an unofficial visit and an official visit coming to Alabama. So anybody sleeping on that one, better open your eyes here, okay? I know it looks like it's an LSU-OSU battle here. Well, watch out for Alabama, because nobody ever heard Alabama mentioned for Jordan Battle until it was time to mention Alabama for Jordan Battle. So keep your eye open there. 2 visits to St. Nick, it's something to be concerned with.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Alabama's at the top of the hill for sure. Clemson's right there as well, and they're going to get anytime they're in on a player that you want, you should probably be concerned. All right, let's move on. Jaylan Knighton, number 3 all-purpose back, 4-star prospect. You think Jaylan Knighton will be a Buckeye?
I think he's going to commit to Ohio State fairly soon, and then it's on at that point. If you think that getting a commitment from Jaylan Knighton is the same thing as getting a commitment from Jacob James, I hate to tell you, but they're not the same thing. Jaylan Knighton, 1,000 miles away. He's already taken his official visit. Ohio State will try like heck to get him back up for an unofficial during the season. The worry with this new rule on official visits, and they got bit on Jordan Battle, is they come in the spring and then you never see them again. And then the Sharks tear into them down there, and it's hard to play defense from 1,000 miles away when you're not seeing that kid. So Jaylan Knighton, I think, is going to commit to Ohio State soon. And then they have got to, learn the lessons they learned from the Jordan Battle thing about how to recruit from far away. They've got to go visit him as often as the rules will allow, and they really need to impress upon him how much they want to see him come up for a game. So, but, I can tell you just from history that, he probably will be on that Miami campus at least once or twice after he makes his commitment, and nobody will probably ever know about that until after all the smoke is cleared. But, these are tough, okay? It's a lot tougher recruiting Deerfield Beach than it is recruiting, in Ohio. So this is going to be one to keep an eye on. I think they're going to get the commitment. I think there's a great chance they end up signing him, but boy, don't sleep on it.
A couple more guys I want to ask you about. Jacolbe Cowan is one of them, number 12 D tackle and a 4-star prospect. You think Jacolbe Cowan, or Cowan, however you pronounce it, Cowan, will be a Buckeye?
I think they have a great shot at getting him. I think they want him. His teammate, Dedrick Bingley-Jones, I don't think is going to end up in this class. I think he's probably going to be a victim of a numbers thing. Cowan was a kid that was ranked really high. And then for some reason, I mean, his ranking really took a nosedive. I don't know why. I don't cover him. I mean, from what I see on film, looks like a pretty darn good player. I really like the guy. But we got to see what's going on. He really plays it close to the vest. If you look on Jacolbe Cowan's profile page, you will see 0 crystal ball picks, which is almost unheard of, for a 4-star kid. Nobody knows anything about this kid, and put me in that boat too. But I just think the feedback I got from when he was at Ohio State, he was there on June 15th with a lot of other guys, and it's very positive. So I think, let Larry Johnson do what Larry Johnson does all the time. I think Ohio State is one of the favorites here for sure. But, boy, this guy keeps things under wraps pretty good.
Last guy I want to ask you about, and then we'll open the floor up. You can say, mention some guys maybe that I didn't ask you about that you think might be in the class, or at least are candidates. But Kourt Williams, number 12, outside linebacker, 4-star prospect. Seems like he'd be a good fit for the bullet position. Kourt Williams will be a Buckeye bank?
I sure think so. And then, when you start adding in Robinson, Knighton, Ransom, Williams, you're starting to get bumping up against that 25 already. And it's just not feasible to think that Ohio State will not accept another commitment from, August 1 all the way to the first Wednesday in February. That is just it's not feasible to think that. So that's where I think this 25 hard cap it's not going to work. Excuse me. So I just think, look, I think there's going to be more guys in this class than 25, and I also think that there are going to be more names pop up down the road that we're not even talking about right now. Okay, probably will come in that D-line group too. There will be names pop up, I can almost assure you, in October, or November, somebody's going to take an official visit to Ohio State that makes everyone say, wow, never saw that one coming. So I think they could be at their 25 here in the next couple of weeks. And then we got to see just how this progresses over the next few months. A good thing that when you have the bulk of your class pretty much locked in at this early date, they can totally tear into this 2021 class now, where if you're chasing your 2020 class all the way to February, it doesn't really leave you a lot of time to build these relationships with the 2021s like they're doing right now. So not only is 2020 set to be, one heck of a class, they are in an amazing shape for 2021. And the 2021 in-state class in Ohio is one of the best I've ever seen. Might be the best I've ever seen.
That's a great point because, they're pretty much done with this 2020 class. They know who they want to fill it out, and they still have to recruit these guys and be diligent. They will, but they can now focus a lot of their attention on the 2021 class. It's a great point. All right, who did I leave out? Who are some other guys that you think might be in this class for the Buckeyes?
I don't think you left anyone out, really. I think this thing is pretty transparent in who they're going to get, where they're at. I don't think there are any surprises out there right now that, we're aware of. Elias Ricks is lurking. So I think this is pretty cut and dried right now on July 15th. I think the average Ohio State recruiting fan knows a lot right now, probably more than he has at any time in the past. You can see where this is going right now. The question is, boy, when the dead period ends, and the season starts and those official visits start popping up, who's going to show up on Ohio State's campus? That's what I'm looking forward to. Because right now, I think anybody can pretty much lay out an Ohio State class and be pretty darn close to what it's going to look like on the first Wednesday in February.
Great stuff as always from Bill Bank Greene. I appreciate it, Bank, and I appreciate everybody out there listening to the show. Hope everyone has a great day. Let's hear that Buckeye swag. Best damn band in the land.